You're watching Good Morning Taiwan. I'm Jeff Chang.
And I'm Stella, too.
Well, the first typhoon of this year in the Partac is growing stronger as it approaches Taiwan. Have you done any preparation so far?
Well, I did. I've saved up some water just in case, because last time when the typhoon came, there was so much mud in the tap water for several days.
Well, I have to do that as well. I haven't thought about that. Well, I was just thinking taping up the windows when I get home later.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah, it is. Well, in any case, we need to make hay while the sun still shines. That's the most important thing, I think.
Indeed. The weather this morning may seem fine, but the Central Weather Bureau has issued a sea warning at 2:30 yesterday afternoon, and a land warning was further announced at 8:30 last night.
According to current forecast, the eye of the typhoon will most likely make landfall in Yilan, Hualien, or Taidong. The East Coast and potentially the rest of Taiwan will see strong winds and significant rainfall starting later today.
Typhoon Partac has increased its intensity from a medium-strength typhoon to a strong typhoon. Its center is moving at a speed of 29 kilometers and 33 rotations per hour in a west-northwest direction. According to the Central Weather Bureau's data, this typhoon is continuing to increase its intensity, while its path is moving more in a more southward direction than previously predicted. Yilan, Hualien, and Taidong might be the three possible locations for it to make landfall. The typhoon has been speeding up due to the drag of the high-pressure system over the Pacific Ocean. Thus, its future path will determine how much Taiwan will be affected. The CWB forecasts that Typhoon Partac will affect Taiwan the worst starting from the afternoon of July 7th and through July 8th, especially the eastern parts of the island. After the typhoon leaves, torrential rain from the southwest wind will affect the central and southern parts of Taiwan. The CWB advises the public to be prepared before the typhoon hits.
The Taoyuan International Airport sustained serious flooding twice last month, and as Typhoon Partac approaches, the airport has taken prevention measures. The Transportation Minister He Chen-dan said he is fully confident the airport will be flood-proof, and the Taoyuan International Airport Corporation also said that it has ensured drainage pipeline H would be functioning when the typhoon strikes. The airport has cleared all water channels and pipes of debris like stones and dirt. Water pumps are ready and sandbags are placed at all important entrances in preparation for possible heavy rain from the typhoon. The airport also advised passengers to contact their airlines directly to check if their flights today or tomorrow would be canceled or postponed due to the arrival of the typhoon. With Typhoon Partac closing in on Taiwan, the Taipei Water Department has implemented measures to prevent turbid tap water. Feicui Reservoir will be cleared of debris, a water monitoring system, and 120 water stations have been set up.
Last year, during Typhoon Soudelor, the public was dismayed when the tap water in Taipei became turbid before water service was suspended. To prevent similar problems this year, the Taipei Water Department has set up water supply stations at 120 public schools, in addition to the original 41 water stations around the city. For example, Taipei Boai Elementary School has a reservoir with capacity of 63 metric tons of water to supply nearby residents. The Taipei Water Department says that once the water becomes turbid, the first step is to reduce water pressure. As soon as turbidity level exceeds 12,000 nephelometric turbidity units, tap water service will be suspended. Zhonghe and Yonghe districts are located at the beginning of the city water pipe system and will be impacted the most. The problem could affect areas up to Shilin and Beitou districts. As Typhoon Partac moves closer to Taiwan, the Taipei city government has activated the turbid water prevention standard operating procedure. The SOP includes removing debris from the Feicui Reservoir to increase water storage volume. A water purity monitoring system was set up upstream of Beishi River to offer advance warnings. The Water Purification Center will use polymer coagulants to purify water when turbidity exceeds 1,000 units. Taipei Mayor Ko Wen-je has promised no turbid water for city residents. He advises everyone to fill their home or community water tanks just in case.
A fire broke out and killed 6 at the local elderly care center in New Taipei City on July 6th. The rescue was difficult because a lot of the elders were bedridden and paralyzed. The fire was put out in 40 minutes. However, it caused 6 deaths. 3 were killed in the fire and 3 died of serious injuries. Another 28 were injured. 31 rescued elders were sent to the nearby Tsuji Hospital and Cardinal Tian Hospital at Xingdian. 8 of them who rescued themselves were sent to a nearby elderly care center. According to initial investigation, the incident was caused by electrical wiring problems that ignited the care supplies before the fire broke out. According to initial investigation, the fire, which broke out at the Lehuo Elderly Care Center on July 6th, was said to be triggered by electrical wiring problems. However, what really started the fire and if the staff's arrangement conformed to regulations at the time of the fire are still under investigation.
A fire broke out and killed 6 at the Lehuo Elderly Care Center in New Taipei City. Charred walls and puddles were seen after putting out the fire. The New Taipei City Government Deputy Mayor He Youyi arrived at the fire scene to further investigate the cause of the incident.
所引起的真正的因素，我们的火灾调查科在做调查。同时，我们也要调查，在当下发生的时候，到底机构所有的员工在现场的配置符不符合规定。
The Lehuo Elderly Care Center has received an A for performance evaluation twice since its foundation in 2010. It passed the fire inspection and security inspection in April and May this year. According to law, the ratio of nursing assistants to general nursing care receivers should be 1:8. The ratio of nursing assistants to long-term care receivers should be 1:5. In Lehuo's case, at least 8 nursing assistants should be present when the fire broke out. However, there were only 6.
可能怀疑啦，就是可能抽风机，但是我也不能多讲，因为还要请鉴识人员辨识。就是消防设备都是非常的合格，所以它没有延伸到其他的地方，就是那一间这样子。但是因为那个烟比较大，就是很快。
The police have detained all surveillance cameras to find out whether there were sufficient nursing assistants present when the fire broke out. They will also look into whether the staff were responsible for negligent homicide and offenses against public safety.
Let's take a look at newspaper headlines today. In both the China Post and Taipei Times, the headlines are centered on the incoming typhoon Nepartak. First, in Taipei Times, the Central Weather Bureau yesterday issued sea and land alerts for Typhoon Nepartak, adding that the storm is likely to make landfall on the East Coast and severely affect the nation's weather today and tomorrow. By 8:30 p.m. yesterday, the eye of the typhoon was 700 kilometers southeast of Hualien, moving northwest at 20 kilometers per hour, with the radius of the storm expanding to 200 kilometers. The maximum wind speed near the typhoon's eye was 209 kilometers per hour. The Central Weather Bureau advised that the entire nation should be prepared for stormy weather. In the China Post, both central and local government agencies have mobilized in preparation of Typhoon Nepartak. Premier Ling Chen urged authorities concerned to jointly prepare for potential flooding and natural disasters, saying that coordination between all government agencies is critical to minimizing damage. Currently, 35,000 Army personnel has been mobilized to stand by, whereas several high-risk highways are being evaluated for a temporary close down. At the same time, emphasis has been put on checking water pumping stations island-wide. Meanwhile, all municipalities and cities in Taiwan have announced that schools and businesses today will operate as usual. In other news, according to environmental groups, 8 million tons of plastic ended up in the ocean every year. But in this case, out of sight doesn't necessarily mean out of mind, or out of our stomach, basically, because all this plastic has somehow found a way to our dinner plates.
This traditional market sells an array of seafood. According to environmental groups, many kinds of popular seafood contain microplastics. A high percentage of consumer products, including toys, bottles, and utensils, are made from plastic. Many personal care products also contain plastic microbeads. Every year, 8 million tons of plastic are dumped into the ocean. The sun, wind, and waves break the plastic into microplastics. These small pieces of plastic not only absorb toxins in the water, but are also eaten by marine life such as plankton or fish. The microplastics then make their way up the food chain all the way to dinner plates. Both the United Kingdom and the United States are in the process of banning microbeads. Experts are urging Taiwan's Environmental Protection Administration, which is not expected to make a decision on this until next year, to follow suit immediately.
On Wednesday, South African Paralympic gold medalist Oscar Pistorius was sent to prison for 6 years for the 2013 murder of his girlfriend Riva Steenkamp. The state and large sections of the South African public had called for him to receive no less than the prescribed minimum 15-year sentence for murder, saying Pistorius had shown no remorse for the killing. However, judge stressed that in Pistorius' case, mitigating factors outweighed the aggravating factors in his crime, and on receiving the sentence, the 29-year-old Pistorius, dressed in black, stared straight ahead as the sentence was meted out. Pistorius' defense team said he will not appeal the 6-year prison sentence, while it was not clear whether the state would appeal the verdict. According to Pistorius' attorney, he will likely serve 2 to 3 years before he can apply for parole. And looking at East Asia, tensions are rising as the International Court of Hague is about to rule on the arbitration over the territorial disputes between China and the Philippines. However, China has chosen to conduct military drills from July 5th to July 11th, which is considered by many to be very sensitive timing. Vietnam is now complaining and demanding the drills to be aborted, but Beijing insisted that the drills are only a regular exercise. Meanwhile, on the 4th, Chinese officials accused Japanese fighter jets of provocative actions that took place on June 17th. According to China, 2 Japanese F-15s approached at 2 high-speed Chinese Sukhoi Su-30s, carrying out a routine patrol in the East China Sea. They initiated radar scanning against the Chinese jets and shook off false heat targets before flying away. The incident was immediately denied by Japan's Deputy Chief Cabinet Secretary, who said the 2 F-15s only took off after Chinese jets crossed the border. A new report on the plight of migrants in Mexico calls for more to be done to help Central American citizens passing through on their way towards the United States. According to the report, the journey north to the United States comes at great risk for child migrants, with criminal gangs in Mexico seeking out new recruits to join their ranks. Females often report rapes during the voyage, and some have been forced into prostitution.
A report recently issued by the Central America-North American Migration Dialogue and backed by institutions like Georgetown University and CIESAS, which is Mexico's leading social anthropology body, details the findings of various academics and experts investigating the migrant phenomena in Mexico of those coming from Central America and further afield. Amongst those startling statistics is a large jump in the number of citizens from Central America trekking north overland through Mexico to reach the United States. According to the report, from 2000 to 2010, the number of Central American citizens in Mexico increased by 55%. The situation came to a head in 2014 when nearly 50,000 unaccompanied minors from Central America reached the United States in the space of 8 months. The journey north to the United States comes at great risk for child migrants, with criminal gangs in Mexico seeking out new recruits to join their ranks. Females often report rapes during the voyage, and some have been forced into prostitution. Pablo Marios from the Center of Investigations and Higher Studies in Social Anthropology told media that Mexico has become a country of migrants and must introduce better measures of protection as they cross through Mexico.
Hace llamar la atención a la sociedad en general y en particular a la clase política de que México se ha convertido en un país de inmigración por el lado de centroamericanos y de migrantes de otras partes del mundo, también migración cualificada, pero también por el lado de mexicanos e hijos de mexicanos que retornan, entre comillas, a México, pero que en muchas ocasiones debería de ser considerado como una primera migración, y hay una escasez de políticas para la acogida, para la protección de derechos de todas estas poblaciones.
However, not all those migrants coming into Mexico for passage north to the United States reach their final destination. According to the report, some 43,000 Guatemalan citizens work in Mexico's southern border state of Chiapas. Many are without the proper documentation to work and reportedly lack access to basic services such as health. A wave of deportations from the United States of Central American migrants is also putting pressure on Mexico. Many are forced to return to countries in Central America which are ravaged by violence and lack of economic opportunity. Many who return head back on the road towards Mexico in search of a better life.
Las deportaciones que se están dando de Estados Unidos desde ciertos barrios de ciudades grandes de Estados Unidos están haciendo, promoviendo que la violencia sea todavía aún más grave en los países centroamericanos y haciendo que esto se siga prolongando. O sea que hay más deportaciones, se sigue aumentando la violencia en estos países y sigue habiendo más salidas desde esos países hacia Estados Unidos, ¿no? Por lo tanto, el problema para México sigue siendo muy grande.
Despite the risks, countless Central American migrants journey some 3,000 kilometers through Mexico towards the United States border. With little resources, many travel on the top of trains like the infamous Bestia, where many are killed or seriously maimed when they fall off the rickety trains from fatigue. In today's world, building your own house is no longer a dream. Architect Xie Yingjun has been promoting the practice of co-op housing, which is a building method that minimizes construction expenditures. And he has been using this method to help people who have lost their homes in earthquakes.
"17 years ago, survivors of the 9/1 earthquake started rebuilding their own houses. But in the remote Yidasao tribe, the rebuilding was difficult. At that time, an architect, Xie Yingjun, led his team to assist the Shaozu on their reconstructions.
起厝不是讲我要起我就起啊，尤其是在这个部落里头互相帮忙的重建呢，重新把他的那个族群呢意识能够再凝聚起来。
No steel and concrete, only bamboos, bricks, and lightweight steels were used. Laborers were the survivors from the 9/1 earthquake. They built their own houses and minimized expenditures.
在农村地区，一般来讲说都比较穷，我自己做的话我就省下来嘛。我帮你，你帮我，那边开钱啊。它的意义绝对不是很简单讲，就是说啊，解决一点盖房子的问题，但还有很多的社区意涵。
台灰尘被专做清洗器材的国际厂商相中和。
A house of 53 square meters, it has 3 rooms, but some redesigned the space to 2 rooms, got rid of the kitchen, make living more comfortable.
把这个灶开给它移民，移到后面去啊，这样子才那么走路。
These co-op houses are 17 years old. To those survivors, houses were only shelters, lack of comforts.
热天真热啊，寒天真寒。以前面顶的用电的时阵，看不是个比热。
冬天也不太冷，那夏天的话，山上也很凉快啊，所以我们在保温啊、隔热啊这些东西就不是那么讲究。
Fresh tea leaves are set flat for drying. This low co-op house is not a residence, but a room for drying tea leaves.
已经算真热啦吼，咱即摆地板地拄我拢地热天地板吼，所以伊内底温度较悬，拄啊摕来做微调试拄啊好啦。
Some communities of Yuchi Township has low altitudes. They rebuild houses under the guidance of architect Xie Yingjun, focusing on the development of communities as a whole.
那在地的工法或者在地的剩余劳力这些的概念呢，在现在的专业建筑师里面，它几乎已经都被真正的专业的这些分工取代掉。
Co-op housing seems untraditional, but it was indeed the spirit of early agricultural society. Minimizing construction expenditures and labor forces, housing is no longer commodities, but affordable places to live for minorities in remote areas.
The Banyan Forest in Nantou County's Zhongxing New Village is listed as a cultural landscape, and recently the leaves of those old trees have become smaller and the tangled roots has grown so much that it actually restricted its own growth.
The bulging tree roots take the form of sea waves. The trees look amazing as their roots mingle with each other. However, the trees are suffering from soil erosion. Residents are afraid that the condition will become more serious.
你看这边的空隙也好，那边的空隙也好，这个都因为间隙都越来越大，这样子对老树的生存真的是一种威胁。
The lush banyan forest in Nantou County's Zhongxing New Village is over 50 years old. It is a cultural landscape protected by the Cultural Heritage Preservation Act. Experts found out that the trees are losing their vitality because of problems in the roots.
它会
用根把它生长的这个岩石、岩盘或它生长的地区把它包起来。它要把它包起来的话，它才能够去立足，它也不会倒。
Experts believe that not enough space was left for the trees when first planted. Therefore, the tangled roots affect not only the tree itself, but also other trees.
栖地的一个改善，那另外就是加上一些营养液。那先看初步的一个改善之后，那针对这个树根的一个盘根错节的部分呢，再做适度的一个修剪。
We should give more nutrients to the trees and trim their roots to maintain this beautiful cultural landscape.
Are you a fan of pomelos?
Me? Of course, I love them. I wish I could eat them all year long, but I think they're only available at a certain time of the year.
That's great because I love them as well. But, well, with the pomelo harvest season just a month away and a typhoon approaching, farmers are busy elevating their fruit and securing fruit trees. Output has already been reduced by extreme weather earlier this year, and farmers are doing everything they can to minimize damage.
The pomelo farmers in Yunlin County's Dolio are worried about the damage the typhoon might bring as they rushed out to the orchard to tie down the pomelo trees with bamboo for extra security. Since pomelos are heavy in nature, the farmers are worried they might fall to the ground in torrential rain and heavy wind. They use bamboo to elevate some of the fruits while using plastic ropes to tighten the branches, the technique passed down from several generations ago. The cold weather earlier this year has already caused the output to drop down 50% this year. Now, with only a month to go until harvest season, the farmers are afraid there won't be any fruit to harvest at all, and their hard work of the year will go down the drain. All they can do right now is prepare themselves and hope to minimize the damage.
Well, with the typhoon coming, let's look at a little bit of weather information on Taiwan to get you prepared for a typhoon day. In northern Taiwan, 40 to 80% chances of rain with highs of 33 to 34. In central Taiwan, 30% chances of rain with highs of 35 to 36. In southern Taiwan, 30 to 70% chances of rain with highs of 33 to 34. On the East Coast, 30 to 80% chances of rain with highs of 32 to 34. In Penghu, Jingmen, and Matsu, 30% chances of rain with highs of 32 to 35.
Thanks for watching Good Morning Taiwan. Before you head out today, remember to take some extra precautions as the typhoon approaches.
感谢您收看今天的公司早安新闻，我们明天见。
公视频道崭新企划，掌握新闻时事零时差。世界瞬息万变，新闻要多看几遍。公视整点新闻，破天荒中英语接力 Live 直播，每天早晨从关心台湾开始。公视早安新闻，取材全球时事，李四端与年轻人对话，思辨全球趋势与脉动。世界这样说，新闻趋势锁定公视。
康健杂志荣获金鼎奖最佳健康与休闲杂志，题材横跨医疗新知、健康饮食等议题。扭转并不且的未来是一部医疗纪实纪录片，要为更美好的医疗奋战。捐款2500元获赠康健杂志6期及扭转并不且的未来 DVD。 详情可扫描 QR code 公视网站或拨02-2633-2000-9。
你怎么可以不跟我商量就自己做决定？我是孩子的爸爸，
所以你会给孩子一个家，你会愿意为了这个孩子重新进入一段有束缚的婚姻？
我跟川也都是好不容易从婚姻里面挣脱出来的人，你知道我那一段婚姻像噩梦一样。
周六晚间9点，今晚你想点什么？
产业全球化的冲击下，台湾的新定位在哪？是困境也是机会。公视与天下杂志跨媒体合作，聚焦台湾下一波整体竞争力，看台湾的抉择、蜕变与重生，政府效能如何因应，中小企业如何转型升级。台湾人没在怕，看年轻人如何勇闯天涯，开创出新的生存之道。过去的文化累积，明日再创荣景，开创新活力。公视家族频道以及客家电视台全面以 HD 高画质播出。使用外接天线收看电视而非有线电视订阅户的观众，7月6号起，请务必记得重新扫描您府上的数位机上盒或电视机，原有线电视的收视户不受影响。收看 HD 高画质的公视家族频道和客家电视台，若有任何问题，请上网或来电查询。